What's going on, people? It's your man, the YB, back once again. So, Joyce versus Kash Ali. Now, I've paused on this frame for one reason, because this frame, for me, sums up the fight. Yeah? I mean, Joyce looks bulbous. He looks soft around the middle, I ain't gonna lie to you. But anyway, the point is, look at Kash Ali's face. Kash Ali's face. Joyce is renowned for busting face. Do you understand? He bust Daniel Dubois' chops for him. He bust Joseph Parker's chops for him. Both of their faces all bust up. This Donny here went 10 rounds with Joe, and there ain't a mark on him. That's the truth, not a mark on him. I thought the stoppage as well was too early. There was 30 seconds left in the fight. Usually, or historically speaking, from what I understand, if there's 30 seconds left in a fade, the referee kind of thinks, like, especially in such an overmatched fight, I assume Joyce was 10-1 on this to win, or more. Or, sorry, a 10-1 favourite. And the guy's a 10-1 underdog, and he's got 30 seconds left. He got up at 9, but he jumped up at 9. Should he have got up at 8? I think he could have got up at 8. Was he looking for a way out? Who looks for a way out of a fight that there's 30 seconds for? I don't know. We've seen, in fact we know for a fact, Kash Ali ain't afraid of looking for a way out of a fight. The David Price fight, the plumber. David, the plumber, the Liverpudlian plumber. Kash Ali, what was he doing, biting his ear or biting his leg, something like that on his Mike Tyson 2002 versus Lennox. So, at 30 seconds left, the referee really, unless he's trying to shill for the home crowd or whatever it was, he should let it carry on. Kash wasn't beat up. It's not. Listen, if Kash Ali's face was all bust up, he'd kind of feel whatever. But there's not a mark on him. Not his body looks markless. His head looks markless. Why not let it carry on for 30 seconds? Now, if Joe jumps on him, that's Joe's job, right? Joe's job is to knock him spark out as a 10-1 favourite. The onus is on Joe. He's at 10 rounds. Yeah, you had 10 rounds to get it done. That's not Kash Ali's fault that he's still there 30 seconds later. Again, he should have jumped up at 8. He jumped up at 9, though. But the way he sprung up at 9. The referee should have given him a second. Bear in mind, the count's 10. The count isn't, you have to be up by 10. It's not you have to be up and then whatever else. He jumped up at 9. He was essentially up at 10. The referee should have really allowed it and then let Joe finish his dinner and get a proper KO. But the fact we're even discussing this, the fact it was a dodgy, it's not Joe's fault the stoppage was dodgy. It's Joe's fault that he only managed to put dude down in the 10th round, 30 seconds left. Not a great, I mean, Joe looks slow. Joe is knocking on foot. Joe was never the quickest. Joe at 32 wasn't quick. But he looked particularly ponderous. Even more so with this kind of opponent who, there was nothing coming back. Now, in all fairness to Kash Ali, it wouldn't take a donkey could work out how you fight Joyce, yeah? You bowl your head, you put your head down, you bowl the right hand over. And he tried that in the early rounds. He gassed out towards the end, which again isn't surprising. He's not a championship fighter. Joe is though. I expected to see more from Joe, but no damage. A poor stoppage. It's very underwhelming. That's the truth. It makes you wonder, how are you going to compete with top level guys when you're struggling to finish your dinner with Kash Ali? For example, I don't like Dubois. I don't rate him. Yeah, Joe's bottom line, Joyce makes it to Valhalla. When it's Joyce's time, he gets knocked spark out and or gets stopped trying to fight. Joyce's eye was bust up. You don't see him looking at the floor and on his knee. He get up and try and convince the doctor he can carry on. So Joyce, he makes it to Valhalla. He makes it to Warrior's Heaven. Dubois does not. However, we can't lie here. How many rounds do you think Kash Ali would go with Dubois? That fight, we know this. Dubois punched straight through him. 4 or 5 rounds, 6 rounds tops. Drill straight through him. Dubois has been doing that with this kind of caliber opponent. Trevor Bryan. Kash Ali is no better than Trevor Bryan. Blew his back out. Rightfully so. That's what you're supposed to do at this level. And Joyce has done it. Joyce has fought much tougher competition like Carlos Takam and stopped them in early in 10 rounds, that's for sure. Etc, etc. In fact, let's check out what weight Joe weighed in at. I ain't even watched, oh, I'll allow it. I ain't even watched none of this. I ain't watched the fight, I ain't gonna lie to you. I told you I'm a casual. I watch big fights, I watch interesting fights. I ain't trying to watch none of this rubbish. And this is part of the reason why, because you never really get the fighter's best anyway, if they're fighting a bum. Unless you're Danny Dubois. Danny Dubois, he'd turn up for the bums. You best believe that. No, listen. Jerome Miller, he's £400. I thought Miller might have something, but he just juiced. That's the bottom line. So Joe weighed in 286. This might be a career heaviest. 286 for Joe. The last time he was this heavy, it may have been never, people. Let's have a look. It may have been never. Yeah, never. Never in Joe Joyce's career has he weighed in 286. He was 280 versus Zhilei Zhang. And it doesn't look. It's not a good look on him. Up until this point, up until he just lost his head, he off the cream cakes. Up until Joe Joyce was off the cream cakes. I mean, he doesn't look. I mean, if Joe Joyce was a normal man, you'd say, yeah, he's a big, strong dude, but it's not athletic looking. And listen, the look don't mean nothing. But why are you jumping up in weight? We know you're not the quickest. No matter what. Listen, science says, one of the not very few, but one of the things we know about science is, yeah, big weight moves slower. That's just the bottom line. Nothing bigger moves quicker, does it? Yeah. If you put a 2-litre engine in a car that weighs 100 kilo, a little mini, a little go-kart, and you put a 2-litre engine in someone that weighs a ton, it's going to move slower. So Joe Joyce has a particular engine, whatever that is. It was never, listen, it ended at 6 piston, and I ain't even into engines. I ain't got a clue. I'm just going to throw some stuff at it now. I'm assuming an engine with 6 pistons is going to be quicker than one with 4. So Joe Joyce has a 4-piston engine. Yeah? I know all the motorheads out here are like, what's this guy talking about? I ain't got a clue about mechanics, mate. I'm that guy, trust me. I'm the guy who goes to the mechanic shop and they treat me like a woman. I kid you not, a quick anecdote. I took my car in for MOT last year. More time, the guy told me, your whole front headlight needs replacing. What was it, like 3 bills? $300. I said, what's wrong with it? He said, yeah, it's loose. Anyway, 2 twos. I don't know nothing about cars. Look, again, if I wasn't broke, yeah, if I wasn't penny pinching, I'd have just paid it. But man's down bad, so you best believe I'm penny pinching. I thought, it's loose. Yeah, and he showed me, he grabbed it and moved up and down. I thought, what would it be loose for? 2 twos. It's loose, and I see 2 little holes that are supposed to have screws in. So I type it in. I think it was an M5 screw for my car. I type in M5 screw, get one, bang it in there, screw it in, sorted. £1 for a screw. And these moody motorheads trying to bump man for £300 for a brand new headlight. What? Look, bear in mind, the lamp and all the headlight working fine. They want to put a whole new headlamp unit in there. The whole thing. £300. It needed a screw. So, damn that guy. I'm the guy who come there and they try to bump me like a woman. Do you know what I'm saying? I could have slapped him upside his head. You best believe it. People, listen. There's a reason, yeah. Like, I ain't never tried to rob someone in my life like that. Just mug them off. But there's a reason there's authorities exist, yeah. Because I'll tell you this for free. If there weren't authorities, if this land was ruled by justice, yeah, I would have clapped man upside its head. I'm not even a violent person, but that's a muggins, isn't it? Yeah, he tried to charge me 3 bills for a headlight, whatever it's called, and it needed a screw. I'm not a mechanic, yeah? If I could have worked out it needed a screw, why are you running up man's bill for? Are you mad? Up. But these soft times, yeah, if I put man in his head, I'll be the one going jail. Oh, you can't be physical. Oh, you can't be physical, can you? But you can bump me 3 bills, though. That's not right, is it? Where's the universal justice here? Yeah, people should stay tight. I should be able to go into a garage, or man or woman should be allowed to go into a garage, yeah, and no, they ain't getting mugged off. Why? Because, no, listen, let me tell you this. A man or woman should be able to go into a garage, yeah, and the man at the garage should know, hey, I better not bump these individuals because they might come back and clap me upside my head. Yeah, I felt like just running in there and just taking £300 worth of equipment. Yeah, how would you like if I come in there and start take your tools? Oh, that's a problem, right? It's a problem if I take £300 of your tools to end my business. The same way it's a problem for me if you take my £300 and need a screw. That's a problem. But there's no justice in this plane, people. It's just bumpage. It's coinage. Shekelage. Yeah, everyone try and dig your pockets for something they ain't need. Anyway, I've digressed, but listen. Poor performance by Joe. Should he fight another bum? No, not on that performance. What's the point? He clearly ain't up for it. He's not getting up to fight a bum. Or is it a case that Zhang's cooked him? Zhang's finished him. But again, he was never the quickest. I'm not saying that he was supposed to be quick, but it's underwhelming. Again, this for me was a 10 round. I wouldn't call it a stoppage. I'd call it this was a 10 round. Joe Joyce went the distance with Kash Ali. Yeah, because if Joe Joyce had any intention of getting a stoppage, he wouldn't have saved it. I don't want to hear about... I haven't listened to the post-fight, but I don't want to hear about, I wanted to get some rounds in. No. Getting rounds in is like butchering dude for 6-7 rounds and then taking him out in 8, 9 or 10. Look, I punched him up. I did what I wanted with him. I broke him down and I popped his chops for him, kind of thing. This wasn't one of them, was it? Equally though, in Joe's defence, after the first half of the fight or so, Kash Ali became very defensive, and it is hard to punch through someone who's just trying to survive. But like I said, like AJ when he was young, Dubois when he's young. Listen, if you're a 130-pound dude, yeah, unless you're fighting, or 120-pound dude, unless you're fighting in New you can just cover up, and the shots are pity-patty, and it's not really a big deal. But at heavyweight, I haven't seen someone yet be able to go into a fight and just cover up and survive. The shots are just too overwhelming. Yeah? If it was possible, then everyone would have survived AJ. Everyone would have survived. Enough man went in there trying to survive AJ, trying to survive Dubois, and they get punched up. Kash Ali wasn't that bad. Clearly, because Joe Joyce finished him in round 10. There wasn't enough ferociousness. I wasn't seeing the engine from Joe. I'm not sure about the punch stats, but I wasn't seeing that drive and that I'm going to open this guy up like a can of beans. It was missing. So, does Joe need another warm-up fight? I mean, who would be good for Joe now? Parker's busy. Who would be good for Joe now? I'm trying to think. Chisora in Saudi. That'll be interesting. Chisora was like a step up from Kash Ali, but he's old. He's like 40 or whatever it is now. Well, Joe's 40. Damn, do you know what I mean? They're both 40. The battle of the granddads, but you get the point. Chisora's not a Parker's beat Chisora, so Chisora's not a Parker level. He's that next step up, I believe, and he's got the Saudi connects, so Joe should be able to get paid well for that. That's the kind of fight, and it'll be to be quite frank, it'll be a great fight. Joe got no defense. Chisora like to bang. Joe like to bang. Put them together. That's what I'll be pitching now. And I think, I think Chisora will be down with that. Chisora's not a guy who want to politic and just take fights he knows he can win. I think Chisora will be down for that. He's a crowd pleaser. And Joyce versus Chisora in Saudi is a crowd pleasing fight. He can get on I don't know, but the Fury and Usyk undercard, maybe, or I don't know, whatever's knocking on. What is going on around there? No, AJ's just fought, so that's not going to happen, but I'd watch it. That's certainly, if Usyk and Fury is the top bill, then Joyce and Chisora is at least number 3 on the bill. Fury, Usyk, something else, and then Joyce and Chisora. That's a proper interesting fight. It's enough for Joe Joyce to be interested. It's enough for Chisora to be interested. It's not the next level for Joe though. That's the only name really that comes to mind. I'm trying to think. What else is there? Yeah, I don't really know who's knocking about these times. Jarrell Miller, his fought in Saudi. He's got that plug there. That would be an interesting fight as well. Miller's 330 pounds. Dubois just punched him up. So there's a baseline there. Both have got good engines. Both are quite slow and ponderous. So yeah. Jarrell, Chisora. I wouldn't bother going back fighting another bum. What did Joe learn from that? If anything, it's kind of like, oh, damn. I just damn near went the distance with... I've just been knocked spark out by Zhang. My chin's gone. I've been knocked spark out by Zhang. And I've just gone 10 rounds with Kash Ali. You don't want another one of them, do you? You don't want to go in there with another Kash Ali and go another 10 rounds. So it's got to be something like if Joyce went 10 rounds with Chisora, you can say, well, Fury did it 3 times in a row, kind of thing. Jarrell Miller, I think Dubois finished him late. So there's kind of, it makes sense that you're going to go distance. Kash Ali, there's no sense. This is bad. Bad. Anyway, Let me know your thoughts, people. Smash the like button, subscribe, and let off the bell, 100%, no doubt.